class. Today I am going to start chapter 3rd, that is human reproduction. Before going to start this chapter, I want to discuss some important terms and concepts. Like you all know that the human beings are sexual reproducing viviparous organism with show internal fertilization and internal development, and always human beings show sexual dimorphism. Sexual dimorphism is a phenomenon in which phenotypically differences in between sexual organs of human males and female, means sexually human males and females are different. That phenomenon is called as the sexual dimorphism. Now, human reproductive system completely divided into many two parts: primary reproductive system and secondary reproductive system. Primary reproductive system is always called as a primary sex organs, and these are the secondary sex organs. Primary sex organs in human males are testes, while in human females these are ovaries. And these primary sex organs are called as the gonads. Gonads are testes in human male and ovaries in human female. These always produce germ cells. Like testes produce male germ cell like sperms, while the ovaries produce female germ cells. These are ova by the process of oogenesis, and sperm produced by the process of spermatogenesis. Means primary sex organs are gonads. These are testes in human males, while ovaries in human females. These gonads produce male germ cells, like testes produce sperms by the process of spermatogenesis, while the ovaries produce ova by the process of oogenesis. And all of you know that these two processes always influenced by the hormones FSH and LH. Follicular stimulating hormones and luteinizing hormones. These two hormones secreted by the anterior lobe of pituitary, means anterior pituitary secrete FSH and LH. By the influence of these two hormones, sperms and ova produce. In 11th class endocrinology chapter, you all studied about FSH and LH. Now, secondary sex organs, means in male and human females, secondary sex organs never produce germ cells, but otherwise they are very essential for completion of all reproductive system. So these are called as the accessory parts. These accessory organs divide into many two categories: accessory ducts and accessory glands. These accessory glands divided into two parts: accessory ducts and accessory glands. Accessory ducts are radiotestis in human males. These accessory ducts are radiotestis, vas efferentia, epididymis, vas deferens, and urethra. And accessory glands are seminal vesicle, prostate, bulbourethral or Cowper's glands. So these are the accessory reproductive parts of human males, while these accessory reproductive parts in human females are fallopian tube, uterus, vagina, Bartholin's glands and mammary glands. These are the some basic points about human reproductive system. Let's start first human male reproductive system in detail. Okay, now students, let's start human male reproductive system. Human male reproductive system consists of primary sex organs. They are testes. This is the structure of human male reproductive system, in which first male reproductive, which is primary sex organs. These are the testes. Testes are one pair in number. Length of testes is 4 to 5 centimeter, while their width is about 2 to 3 centimeters. These testes are pinkish in color, and they are situated at the outer side of the, we can say that at the outer side of abdominal cavity. These testes surrounded by a covering that is called as the scrotum. Very important role of scrotum. Scrotum provide temperature to testes like 2 to 3 degrees Celsius, which is below than the body temperature. This temperature is necessary or essential for the nourishing for the formation of sperms, which are produced inside the testes. So testes covered inside a scrotum. Now these testes, inside the testes there are approx 200 to 250 testicular lobules. Inside each testicular lobule there are one or two or maximum 3 coiled structures. They are called as the seminiferous tubules. In seminiferous tubules sperm production takes place. Later we will discuss about this. Now these seminiferous tubules which are present inside the testicular lobules open into epididymis through the vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia, next, that is the secondary sexual organism in which secondary sexual, which are very essential for the reproduction. These are the accessory ducts and glands. So vasa efferentia, epididymis, vas deferens and rete testis, these are the accessory ducts. Now these seminiferous tubules open into the epididymis with the help of vasa efferentia and rete testis. Vasa efferentia are just 10 to 20 small tubules which are found just below the epididymis. These help to carry sperms from testis to the epididymis. And next, epididymis is approx 6 meter large gland, yellowish in color, which is situated at the posterior tip of the each testis. Posterior tip of each testis. Epididymis, it is yellow in color and 6 meter in length, which help in the carry of sperm from testis to outside. This vas deferens is approx 30 to 35 centimeter long duct which help to carry sperms from testis to the seminal vesicle. It helps to carry sperm from testis to seminal vesicle. That's why it is also called as the sperm carrying duct. Seminal vesicle is the accessory glands in which some mucus and alkaline fluid is present. This mucus, when mixed with the sperm, then it convert into semen, because it mucus contain fructose which is help for the nourishing of sperms. In seminal vesicle, approx 60 to 70% semen production takes place. Clear? Seminal vesicle is a gland, accessory gland. The size of seminal vesicle is approx 5 centimeter. In seminal vesicle, some mucus secrete in which fructose is present, and when the sperm mix with this mucus, it convert into semen. Approx 60 to 70% semen production takes place inside the seminal vesicle. Sorry. Now, from seminal vesicle, these sperms reach to the another accessory gland, that is prostate gland. This prostate gland situated just below the seminal vesicle, and the length of prostate gland is approx 4 centimeter. It is pyramidal shape and grayish in color. It also contains some alkaline fluid which having some citrate, calcium, phosphate and some enzymes, and it produce approx 30 to 40% semen. In prostate gland, approx 30 to 40% semen production takes place. Now, below the prostate gland, another small gland, they are called as the bulbourethral glands. Another name of bulbourethral gland is Cowper's gland. Cowper's gland. They are 1 centimeter in diameter and approx 3 centimeter in length. These glands help for the lubricating of male genital tract. Next and last part of the human male reproductive system, that is the external genitalia. External genitalia is the male copulatory organs. It is called penis, and it open outside with the glans penis. Now students, we are going to discuss the structure of testis in detail, because this is very important for your exams, as it comes in your exam as a diagrammatic question. TS of testis, LS of testis, and this is the TS of testis. So please draw these diagrams in your notebook and practice this. I also send to all of you the pics of these diagrams. So let's start. This is the structure of testis. Testis situated abdominal cavity we already discussed earlier. Testis is surrounded by covering, mainly 3 covering which surround testis. These covering collectively called as the tunicae. Testis surrounded by 3 covers. These are collectively called as the tunicae. These 3 covering are: first, that is tunica vaginalis; second, that is tunica albuginea; and third, that is tunica vasculosa. It is the outer scrotal sac, and below the scrotal sac, the first covering, that is called tunica vaginalis. This is the first covering of testis, which actually indicate the outer abdominal side of the testis. Second, tunica albuginea, actually main cover of the testis, that is the tunica albuginea. We can say that the tunica albuginea is the actually cover of the testis. Tunica albuginea forms some septa inside the testis, and these septa divide testis into testicular lobules. That's why it is important covering, because it forms testicular lobules, approx 200 to 250 testicular lobules. And third covering, that is the tunica vasculosa. Tunica vasculosa is present just below the tunica albuginea. Tunica vasculosa is present just below the tunica albuginea, and it have dense blood capillaries in itself. So these are the 3 covering of testis. Inside testicular lobules, you can see there are 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubules. So in transverse section of seminiferous tubules, this is the structure of seminiferous tubule. When we cut as a TS of seminiferous tubule, you can see there are so many cells. This is the structure of transverse section of seminiferous tubules. Inside the seminiferous tubule, we can see that seminiferous tubule surrounded outside by some special types of cells. These are called Leydig cells. Another name of Leydig cells is interstitial cells. These cells found surrounded of the seminiferous tubules. Very important role of Leydig cells. Leydig cells produce androgens. Androgen means testosterone, which is the male sex hormones. Leydig cells produce male sex hormones, that is testosterone or androgens, in the presence of, or we can say that in the influence of luteinizing hormone, which secreted by the anterior pituitary. Leydig cells produce Leydig cell produce testosterone by the influence of luteinizing hormone, which secreted by the anterior pituitary. And inside the seminiferous tubule, there are 2 types of cells. Spermatogonia, these are the primary germ cells, and second, these are the Sertoli cells. Spermatogonia, they are the primary germ cells, and Sertoli cells, these 2 cells are produced inside the seminiferous tubule, and outside the seminiferous tubule, Leydig cells are produced. Leydig cells and Sertoli cells, these 2 cells are very important. Sertoli cells and spermatogonia, these are produced inside the seminiferous tubule, and the spermatogonia, by the meiotically division, they produce sperms. They are called spermatozoa. These are the spermatozoa. These are the sperms, or we can say that spermatozoa, which attached with the Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells produce nutrition. Sertoli cells produce nutrition to developing sperms in the influence of FSH. FSH secreted by the anterior pituitary. By the influence of FSH, Sertoli cells produce nutrition to the developing sperms. Leydig cells named given by Franz von Leydig, while the Sertoli cells name given by Enrico Sertoli. These are important questions for your CBSE exams as well as for NEET. So please watch this video lecture very carefully and prepare. Next topic we will discuss about female reproductive system.